Welcome to the Retrospect podcast, a show where people come together from different walks of life and discuss a topic from their generation's perspective. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Stoney.
Hello.
And our friend Jason.
Hello, everyone.
Our regular third member now. And may I say, I'm thankful and grateful that you've been able to join us on these past few episodes and really help flesh out some episodes and ideas with us. It's been a real pleasure.
And see, I'm thankful that the response has been positive.
Well, that's the big thing.
Because that could go the other way, and that would really suck, right?
Everybody's screaming, saying, "You need to get that guy off the air. He's not doing
what were
anything
you
for
thinking?"
y'all."
Right. This episode is coming out the Monday before Thanksgiving, so we all sat down for a second and thought, wouldn't it be nice if we all just talk about what we're thankful for? What are some things that we appreciate in
I can
lives?
start that one off with a real easy one. Surviving brain surgery.
That's a big one.
That's yes.
And that actual
You have a lot to
whole
be thankful
series
for.
events of a year, from having a botched oral surgery.
Wow. I
Wait a minute,
caused
a
that.
botched oral surgery?
That's actually what caused the stroke. So had this botched surgery not happened, I would not have had the stroke. And if I would not have had the stroke, they would not have found the brain tumor. So basically, I had to have 6 hours of oral surgery, of which the anesthesiologist decided to not show up that day. So instead of waiting the 2 to 3 months to reschedule it, we chose that I would do it awake.
Oh.
So I did 6 hours
Stoney.
of oral surgery awake. Miranda said that they shot me 24 or 26 times with Novocaine, which thickened my blood. I was already dehydrated. And so basically in this surgery, they only do one quadrant, this cleaning at a time. And I had, I think, 3 or 4 teeth pulled. But they do a certain cleaning where they slit the gum and clean all the way up in it. They only do 1 quarter at a time. We did all 4 of them at the same time.
Oh.
And they believe a little piece of plaque got into my bloodstream, which settled into the brainstem, which caused the stroke. And if you remember, I went pretty much blind in my right eye.
That's right.
Which, had it presented itself in my big toe, they wouldn't have been looking where they did. Well, the brain tumor was right behind my right eye.
Oh my
so
gosh,
I'm thankful
man.
I had the surgery that went botched so that the stroke would happen. And then basically after all of that, they said, let's wait 6 months and we'll check the tumor and see if it's growing. Well, it was growing 10% in a 6-month period of time. And they said, we have to get this out. And then I survived that because it was so vascular. I know, right?
Wow. I don't think I got that detailed the story before.
Yeah.
And so all of this I'm very thankful for.
Right.
Because I survived, and I'm ahead of all the markers to update the listeners because they do reach
Right.
out and touch base. The surgery was 101% success.
Wow.
Of which I asked him, I said, well, technically, if you can only remove 100% of the tumor, how much of the brain did you remove for that 1%, that extra one? And he was,
Enough.
You're an idiot. I said, yes, sir, I am.
All right.
But there is no need to go back in. Other good news is they don't believe there's any need for radiation. They believe they got it all. And normally they want to see you 3 to 6 months later. And he says, I don't need to see you in my office medically for a year.
Wow.
So that's what I'm starting off. That and Hottie Dr. Miranda is what I am thankful for this year. How about y'all? What about you, Jason? What are you thankful for?
Well, on the, it's so funny you talk about oral surgery. I had 4 wisdom teeth removed this year.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
at my age, I still had my wisdom teeth, and eventually they had to come out. So,
Yikes.
That was interesting. Luckily, I did not have any problems other than the discomfort of
Oh, yeah. Getting teeth removed.
getting your teeth pulled out. But,
at least it's changed because back in the 1800s, they gave you a shot of whiskey, stood on your chest, and pulled the tooth out.
It out. Yeah, well, people's pain tolerance, I think, back then
Was a way.
because they Yeah, because everything hurt back then. There was nothing to
yeah.
kill the pain.
Yeah.
So,
Oh gosh, you're not feeling too well. Just go ahead and get the leeches. Let's go ahead and. I'm kidding.
yeah, I tell you, I'm
So
just.
did they do them all four at the same time?
No, it
or-
was two. It was my two top earlier in the year, and then the two on the bottom.
Yikes.
I think about a few months ago.
Okay.
So it was a few months apart. But overall, I didn't have a problem with it. So
That's something to be thankful for.
yeah, I mean it's been a good year. I really have to say I'm thankful for my family and you know, a job,
Of course.
a roof over my head. You know, a lot of things we take for granted.
Right.
You know, that I think we do, and I have to kind of check myself sometimes and go, you know, that's, you know, having a job,
Mm-hmm.
you know, having a home, more importantly, my health.
Yeah.
You know, I would trade all that for good health
Sure.
in a
Yeah.
heartbeat. A family that loves me. So I have a lot of things to be grateful for and thankful for.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Wolf, how about you?
Man,
Because you haven't had any major events this year at all. have
well, I
you?
mean, there's one big one I can think of.
What was that?
Oh, it was the fact that I got to become engaged, but also have a vacation, which I haven't had.
Become engaged to an awesome woman.
Oh, of course.
Awesome lady.
Yes.
Yes.
But it was also the fact that like her and I got to go on a vacation. Like, yes, obviously the engagement was paramount. It was the cherry on top of what was like our first vacation together,
Mm-hmm.
which that in and of itself was in its own way so valuable to me, because with the pandemic and everything and the job that I'm in, I didn't feel comfortable enough. Like even a year after like all that had happened, sometime in 2021, I still was like, if I get stuck somewhere and I can't get back home, like the work that I do like really needs me to be there. Like, and that's kind of what I like. I can't just be stuck somewhere for 2 weeks and it just be okay. Like I mean, they could probably make do without me, but I don't want to put them in that situation. That's not what I get paid to do, in my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I just was like, better safe than sorry. So for Mallory and I's basically entire relationship of up until our vacation, 2 years, neither one of us had gone on a vacation or have gone traveling like together, like outside of our like state borders, basically, you know. So there's no real trip or anything like super fun and adventurous. Like,
Well, just remember, if you want to get to know somebody, go on a long road trip.
oh yeah,
So not just fly. Hop in that car for 24 to 48 hours.
oh yeah. My best friend Ben and I went through a lot of that stuff with me moving to Canada.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, so we went.
It's like I don't mean to interrupt.
you're
It's
good.
like the old saying: if you want to know who loves you more, your dog or your wife, stick them both in the trunk for 4 hours.
Oh, no.
And open it and see which one's happy to see you.
Well, that's great. I mean,
That's the deck is stacked against you in that
That's
one.
right.
I mean, getting engaged. That's
awesome.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
that's a big event.
that's what I was saying. Like
mean,
that was the big climax of the trip. But like I don't want to let the trip get passed up either because of that, because it was also very nice for us to just spend time together, the two of us.
Well, you put a
And it
lot
not-
of work into the planning of that trip, also.
yeah.
I remember some of the things y'all were doing and going through.
Right.
That was an impressive trip.
It was a lot
nice
of.
trip.
I'm not gonna sit here and take the full credit, because she did a lot of work planning and she really busted her ass to make sure this trip was going to be really good for her and for us as well. And so I do want to give her credit where it's due. We both put in the work, but the big thing was it was just good for us to get away and for us to not have responsibilities or checklists to do or errands to run and all these, the normal life things. It was just nice to go, we have a full week where we can just do whatever we want. I mean, we had like a loose itinerary of like things we wanted to see, but it was nothing like a normal week for us. Where like we have work, we have, normal day-to-day tasks we have to do. It was just really nice to be able to I don't know. It was just a lovely trip, and it was great to be able to get away. And again, I like spending time with her and hanging out with her anyways. And so the fact that we were able to have fun in Disney World,
Well, that's a good thing considering y'all getting
yeah,
married.
exactly right, exactly. So, anyways, that's the big thing for me, that I'm thankful for her, and very many aspects of life. It's hard for me to even begin to even count the things. So I'm thankful for her.
And on the same note, I'm thankful for Hottie Doctor,
Of course.
Miranda. We got married 3 days before the surgery.
Oh yeah, what a big one.
It's big.
And then of course, I kept, I've been trying to marry that woman since the day I met her.
Right.
I knew the day I met her, I was getting married to her. And so
Right.
finally I had a good reason. I said,
Right.
baby, I work for the state. If the surgery goes bad, I don't want my benefits to just poof. I said, so
Right,
why don't we
right.
get married, before the surgery, just in case. And
Right.
she submitted and we got married. And then of course afterwards, Tuesday when we got all the great news last week,
Right.
I said,
right.
well, I guess that's great news. I guess you didn't have to marry me after all. And she just looked at me and said, you're an idiot. But she's also the person who, when I got diagnosed with the brain tumor, she looked at me and she said, baby, the first condition of immortality is death.
Right.
You don't know you're immortal if you can't die, right? And so she said, the first condition of you actually having a brain tumor is that they've proven you have a brain.
Well, that's a different way of putting it.
Sure,
that's
right?
great,
But that's why she's the perfect woman for me.
I love it.
I am very thankful for that. We've had probably 15 years worth of life in the first 2 years.
Wow. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's a lot.
November the 11th was the 13th was our 2-year anniversary of meeting.
Yeah.
So
2 years.
2 years of meeting her. And it's been a whirlwind
That's amazing.
with everything we've done. And I just can't imagine.
Finding that life partner.
Yes.
If you can find it,
Oh yeah.
how lucky you are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
From someone who is single, that is tough. Is to find someone that really matches you.
I've realized.
Hear that, lady listeners.
Right.
Jason is single.
Right.
And he comes from the X generation, so he's not all bad. He still has some good qualities about him. And,
I just have realized not only is it me putting up with somebody else, but it's someone that can really put up with me.
yes.
And I feel like Mallory really puts up with me in a lot of
Well,
ways, and I love that, and I enjoy
was
it.
it Bob Marley who said, everybody's going to hurt you. It's just finding the one that's worth the pain.
Well, yeah.
And it's kind of true when you think about that.
Right.
That's insane, but we're not perfect.
Right.
I'm not perfect, but I believe I'm perfect for Miranda. She's not perfect, but I believe she's perfect for me.
Right.
We just see things, and that's something I'm really thankful for too.
That is cool.
We see things. Like we have a vision for our living room. We're going for that smoky cigar
man.
bar, whiskey bar type feel.
For those of you who've been listening for a while, you'll know that Stoney has talked about that big piece of like furniture. It's like a big entertainment center.
Yes.
But calling it that is
because it's not really an entertainment
well,
center.
because it's making it so much smaller than what it actually is. Just know that for a brief moment helped him get it set up in his home, and man, that thing is so cool.
It's a library piece.
It
has a rolling ladder on it. It's just. And
I called it an installation. It is.
Yes.
It
what's really funny is the way things work in life. We had just talked about, man, we need a rolling ladder in our life because we probably have a 5,000 book library together when
That's
you
crazy.
put the two things together. And I told her, a week before, I said, baby, I need a rolling ladder in my life. And she found this piece. And it's impressive.
Beautiful.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
So,
That's good.
but when
matches the
when you
vibe.
find somebody that has enough differences to keep things interesting, but when you can talk about and come together on something and you just both get it and you both have the same vision, that doesn't mean every piece is going to be exactly the way you thought it, but you have the same vision and that works together.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Another big thing I want to talk about too is making a really big career decision. I'm so thankful. You may not have heard about this, but at the end of summer, around July or August, I got an opportunity like presented to me that was like
Fell in your lap.
I have worked with this person before in the past, and he made me an offer that I really feel like I couldn't refuse. But it was just, how do I leave the current job that I'm working for in a tasteful way? Was the hard part, because it was like the place that I was at, I respected the people that I worked with, but I was kind of looking for something new to begin with, and so I'm thankful that the person in question liked me enough to offer the job in the first place, and also give me the ability to be like more free in my area. And it is so lovely. I this past week had like a really rough day, and it was just hard and it was stressful, but I came home, and after like really taking it all in, going back to work the next day, knowing that I still would prefer this than I think what I had, 6 months ago. And it was just really lovely. And I'm so thankful that I'm at where I'm at right now because of all the opportunities that are involved with it. And still like in the opportunities to learn and to grow as a person in many different facets is just, it's super cool. And I appreciate that opportunity to begin with. And the fact that I'm so thankful that it worked out.
Right.
Because I was nervous there for a minute.
Because that could have went the other way too, right?
Yeah, exactly. It could have went the very opposite direction.
Sure.
So yeah, that's a big thing. Those are the two big things that have happened over the past like 4 months or so for me. That's just like, man, I feel like I'm in an okay spot right now. So
something else I'm very thankful for is the twilight of my life. I get to work for a group of people that are amazing.
Oh yeah. You've told me stories.
Yes, and they came together for the surgery. I've mentioned that my biggest fear was not, I'm a person of faith, and I do not apologize for that. I'm not going to beat somebody else up with my faith, but I've stated that on the air before, that I am a person of faith, and I was not worried about God taking me or leaving me here. I was fine either way. I knew everything would be fine. My biggest fear was that Miranda was going to have to sit in that waiting room by herself. And that didn't happen. There was an outpouring from both my jobs of people that just sat with her. I think there was 12 to 18 people in the waiting room.
Right.
When you're allowed one. And I don't think the hospital knew what to do. And then the people that showed up that could work their way into ICU, which was kind of funny in itself, to check on me. And then after the surgery, the people that I used to volunteer for one of the groups at my work, even before I worked for this agency. I was an honorary member of it because I would volunteer my time cooking for it. And then to see that wonderful machine turned on me, it was breathtaking. It was just really amazing to watch these people operate and care about my family.
Oh, right.
I had one of my higher ups come on his day off just to check on me and my family. It was his day off.
That's super cool.
And I hadn't built a relationship with him yet to know. And he just did this out of the kindness and his heart, the spirituality in his heart. He was just led, I'm going to go check on this. And it was just amazing. And I'm so thankful to be able to work for a group of men and women that care about people in their organization.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
That's really cool.
It's a great group of people that you work for.
Yes, it is.
And work with.
Yes.
So
I'm so thankful for that, because that could have been the other way. You hear so many horror stories about having a major life health event and then getting shit canned, or something happening and they treat you differently. And even when I went back, because I was, you know this, and you might know a little bit about this, Jason, I was so ahead of the markers. They're talking about me on a huge level because I healed so fast. I was so ahead of the markers. They didn't even want me to go back to work for 8 to 12 weeks.
I remember that.
And I was back to work at 30 days. And my job, the people that I work for, could have done that so differently. But they said, come on back. We'll do half days. We'll do 3/4 days. And they didn't pressure me for anything. You do what you can do. You do it. If you can't do it, if you need to go home, don't stress, don't do. I just work with an amazing group of people.
That's really cool.
And I'm so thankful for that.
There are a lot of great things about the job that you're in that in many other jobs it wouldn't be so accommodating.
That's right.
And they would. I've heard horror stories of people being just cut loose.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're too much of a drain.
Right. We're in kind of a transition period now, and I have an opportunity to have a relationship with some of those leaders, and I tell them, they're in leadership roles, and they're planting the trees of leadership that they know they'll never enjoy the shade from. And it's just amazing that
that's a nice way of putting that, Stone. I like that.
Yeah. And it's amazing to watch them work and be part of it and be part of what they're doing and to witness that. And for them to accept me for who I am, because I'm different. Everybody that's listened to this show knows I'm a little different. And my friends definitely know that I'm a little different. And I'm just so thankful for them.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's an amazing place to work. I enjoy going to work.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't mean there's not trials. It doesn't mean there's not some tribulations.
We all have them.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. It's the same thing for me as well.
Sure.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in that very similar situation. Like I said this past Tuesday, I came home from work and was just talking with Mallory for a bit and was like, I had just one of those days where I was like, I felt like nothing was going right. Everything was messed up, and everyone was needing help, and like nothing was able to fix.
You weren't alone. Tuesday was a crazy day for me, and that's why when I called you and I was like, "Hey, I got to go somewhere," and you were like, I understand."
Yeah,
and you were so accommodating.
Right,
but that's something else I'm thankful for too. All the relationships that I've built in my life. You made it so easy to go take care of my friend.
Right.
I had to leave. I had to leave work early and go take care of my friend.
Right.
It was important to me. It was important to the person that I rode with. We had to drive a couple hours away to go look after a friend.
Right.
And you were like, "I got you. I understand."
It's for me, and I've talked with many friends of mine about this as well. I don't do this all the time, but it's like following that golden rule of like, do unto others kind of thing.
Sure.
For me,
have them do unto you.
From in a situation like that where he was talking about it, he was very brief with it and was very much respectful of the person in question. Was like, "Hey, I got a friend of mine is in a kind of a bad spot. He needs help, and I want to be there for him." Immediately for me, it's like, if I was in a situation like that, the person in question, or even in Stoney's position, where it's like I need to do this. What would I want What would I want from a friend? And I want someone to be able to talk to me and say like, "Hey, like you go do it. Go take care of it. Like just I got your back." Even though I have no idea who this person is, like that I've been in a situation like that where I just wish someone could be there for me in some capacity.
Sure.
Could be a friend that could like really just drop everything to really be there for me, even if I didn't ask for it, even if I don't feel like I deserve it. Sometimes it's nice to know that you have friends that are there for you in that capacity. Mm-hmm. And so whenever you said that, I was like, I'm totally.
You made it really easy, and I'm really thankful for that relationship. And we're working on a new relationship with our new friend here, Jason.
I would tell you, I haven't had as this year as what I would call impactful events this year, other than the wisdom tooth issue. Mm-hmm. But in the grand scheme of things, the year has gone well, and I'm thankful for that. But
especially because of the past 2 years that we've had, it's nice to know have a relatively not so.
Yeah. I'm thankful. Really, it's so excited.
You get to be the bright spot for us. Okay,
this podcast. I mean, this. I'm thankful that y'all have allowed me to come in and join y'all for this. This is something awesome. I've always wanted to do, and I never really thought I would have an opportunity to.
I remember, do this, I've known you for a couple of years now, and I remember talking to you about the podcast and the enjoyment that you seem to get to listening to us. And so when the opportunity came, and I was talking to Mr. Wolf here, and I was like, I got an idea, because Miranda would fill in, Sam, and we need to get Sam back on here too. We miss Sam, because I'd like to see them two together.
Yes.
Jason and Sam together, I
Yes.
think would be fun. And in our conversations about what we just talk about, I felt like you'd be a good fit. And you represent the X generation. So we're back to our basics.
Yeah.
And I'm just thankful we found somebody that people like. And I'm thankful that you're enjoying this, because for me, this podcast, and X-Man used to say this a lot, this was his therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have a great pre and post show, which hopefully I'll be thankful when we start recording that.
There you go.
But it's like therapy. You're talking to your friends. You talk about whatever you want to talk about, and kind of, decompress.
Yeah.
And then do the show, and then kind of hash some things out afterwards.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to have and look forward to this every week.
Yeah, I've looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to, as we develop topics, and we kind of dive into that, and I think we're on a good trajectory here.
What's some of the response you're getting for some of your family and friends that you've kind of shared this with, or are they enjoying it? Or?
I have pushed this out as anybody that I come in contact with that I know, and I talk to them about the podcast, and of course they want to know what it's about, and because there's so many podcasts out there.
But we were thankful to have you, because you were kind of pushing us out when you were just a listener too. And now that you're kind of here, you're really promoting it. I know several people now that are listening to the podcast now, because I exposed them to it. So, hopefully maybe they'll push it out to other people that they know.
That's really cool.
That's how this works. So,
yeah. What else you thankful for, Jason? What else you got? You said you had a good year going here.
I was going to say, the one I want to ask is, like, do you have, our relationship so far has been this podcast, really. So, I mean, like, what, was there anything in particular for you, like any traditions that you had that were like, or do you follow any traditions currently that you do for Thanksgiving or the holiday season?
For this Thanksgiving, I'm running a race Thanksgiving morning.
Oh my!
And then
that's work.
Yeah, but
aren't you supposed to take it easy on Thanksgiving?
I love to run. We'll see. I'm making room for the turkey and the dressing later.
See, there we go.
So I'm gonna go do a 5K Thursday morning. Then from there, from downtown, I'm gonna leave there and then head to pick up the fried turkey, and then head over to my parents' house, and that's where we're gonna celebrate Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So this year, unlike what happened last year, there's a particular sparkling wine that I like to drink at Thanksgiving.
What is that?
Cold Duck.
Cold Duck. I never heard of it.
It's
sparkling
been around.
Wine, is that like a champagne?
It's like a champagne.
Well, because Mr. Wolf here is on the champagne ticket.
Well, as you know, then champagne can only be called champagne if it comes from Champagne, France.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a sparkling wine. But unfortunately, last year I had bought it and not thinking, I put it in the freezer. And forgot about it. Well, I pulled them out, put them in the sink. I should have gone outside with them, and they blew up in my house.
Oh,
yeah.
So I had champagne all over my ceilings, my cabinets. So it was a mess last year.
Is it from Andre?
Andre, that's it.
Okay.
Andre Cold Duck.
Love it.
So it's just something I like to drink, and I've done it for years. In our family, we all drink it, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a holiday. It's a holiday sparkling wine.
Yeah, it's a little tradition.
Hashtag Andre Cold Duck.
Andre Cold Duck.
I love. Okay,
yeah.
I had I just now bought a bottle of Moet and Chandon that I have in my refrigerator right now that I'm waiting for my friends giving on Saturday. I was thinking about breaking it out for Thanksgiving Day with my family, but it just depends. I'm not sure if they're really big into.
You still haven't tried the Dom Perignon yet?
No.
Okay.
I want to save that for New Year's, I think. But that's even if I can afford it by that time. Like I just don't.
Rice dressing or cornbread dressing?
Cornbread.
Yeah, probably.
See, I'm rice.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
There you go. I'm always a turkey for Thanksgiving and a ham for Christmas kind of guy.
Okay.
To be
I've
honest,
always had both, so.
I'll do turkey for either one. Really, I'm not really a big fan of ham, but if I had to choose, and that's one question I get all the time.
It seemed like we eat roast a lot.
Roast, that
at
sounds
Christmas
good.
time.
Well, I used to do the prime rib roast.
Prime rib.
Yeah,
oh man, I want to go to your Christmas dinners.
But now it's so expensive. I don't know if I'll do that, but that was fun to do. Just encase it in salt, and just it doesn't get salty. You just cook it that way, and it was so good.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
And I love sipping on a little bourbon too.
Okay, yeah.
I'll have a little Angel's Envy.
I love Angel's Envy. I'm in the process of trying to buy, not just for you, mine, because I do want some as well. But
I'm gonna bring some.
I want to buy myself a bottle because it's been a while since I've had another bottle in the house. And whenever you said,
I need to go buy Total Wine.
Whenever you had said it yourself, you were like, I love Angel's Envy. I was like, okay, well now that I have a potential second person that's going to enjoy it, I need to have some around. So the only one that I have is the finished rye. That's a little pricey right now to be drinking on it.
It's about almost $100 a bottle.
Right. Well, I think now it's around 80. If you go
it's come down.
Well, still, I wouldn't drink it every week per se, but still.
Considering what some of this bourbon can cost.
Oh yeah,
mm-hmm.
but I mean, for me, how good the original Angel's Envy is, and it being 40, 45. I'm like, that's you can't go wrong. I can't go wrong with that. That's.
Well, see, I like Blue Label, and that's almost $300 a bottle.
Well, same thing with Dom Perignon. I want to try it, but I know whenever you pop it open, you really got to drink it in the following week.
I've had Dom Perignon. I'm not. It
okay.
tastes good, but it's
my favorite so far.
I don't think it's worth.
Well, it's a status thing.
It's a
status.
I don't think it's worth the amount of money you pay.
It's kind of like a cigar.
That's just me.
Everybody's, I love Cuban cigars. Well, okay, number one, they're illegal,
right?
But when the revolution happened, all the great cigar growers left. They took their seeds and left.
Right.
And so it's not the same, number one. And number two, you can get just as good a cigar with Rocky Patel or, other ones, and it's a status thing. So Dom Perignon is kind of the same way.
For me, the one that I had, like the real champagne that I probably spent the most money on, that I've sampled here and there a whole bunch of different ones, and the one that I loved the most was Paul Roger. That was my favorite. I had that one, and it was probably $60.
Okay.
And I just bought that on a whim because I've been trying like different ones and really trying to acquire a flavor for it because I noticed I really like sparkling wine or champagne specifically.
So should we call this the Champagne Thanksgiving episode?
Champagne, or just say liquor episode?
Right, yeah. I mean, we talked about what things we're thankful for at least a bit. Now I was like, okay, one thing that
we're thankful for champagne.
I mean, hey, I love it. The one thing I always remember growing up around the holiday season was like New Year's. We always had like the Welch's sparkling grape juice, which I always thought was great because my parents maybe every now and then would drink a little sparkling wine somewhere for a holiday like that, but not often. We would always just get the sparkling grape juice, which was like I always made me feel like I was so fancy as a child. But a big thing that I've noticed that it either you love it or you hate it is eggnog.
Oh, I love eggnog.
I love eggnog.
I'm so glad I'm in like company. I love eggnog, but everyone else in this household hates it, which I mean, it's okay with me because at that point I just drink all of it.
Anytime you need help drinking it, I think you can call both of us.
I love to sip on some eggnog.
Okay,
with a little Irish whiskey.
Yeah,
okay, so look, hear me out.
A little whipped cream.
Hear me out.
Stoney, you and I on the same page.
Okay, so hear me out. I recently I'm not sure if this is like an accessible brand or it's just like a Louisiana thing. Or a Southern thing. They have Southern Comfort eggnog.
Yes.
And it is my favorite.
Yes.
I've had Klein Peter and Borden and all that, and it's all right. It's not my favorite, but you
got to have the adult beverage added to it.
Wait. And so here we go. On the side of the carton, I didn't think about this. I didn't put two and two together because I'm a genius like that. I know there is Southern Comfort like whiskey that's like cherry flavored whiskey kind of in some way. And I didn't put the Southern Comfort eggnog at the same brand or whatever until I looked on the side of the carton as I was like pouring
alcohol
some one
content.
Day. Well, no, and it doesn't come with it in there, but it says for like a more fun addition, buy Southern Comfort whiskey and put it in there with it. And I was like, I'm such an idiot. I didn't think about that. And so, of course, the reason I'm saying that is I have.
You can actually buy some with it in there.
I didn't do that.
Yes.
I just have like a regular carton of it, but I bought myself
What's your
Well, on a similar
what's your
subject, similar subject, you're the coffee guy.
Yes.
Have you ever had real Irish coffee?
Oh yeah.
Okay, with
stuff.
the good coffee, the Irish
Yeah,
whiskey, the whipped cream on the top of
It's
it.
amazing.
I love that.
It's great
My
stuff.
granny used to make the best cup of Irish coffee on the planet.
There is a little bit. I've had like a whipped foam, sweetened foam on top of the Irish coffee that has like a little like cocoa powder on top.
Mhm.
It's divine.
I think that was the
What is your
original bougie coffee.
What
was Irish
is
coffee.
your favorite holiday drink?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I've never really had apple cider a lot, but like what little bit I've had, I've enjoyed it. But eggnog is definitely
Eggnog.
is the thing.
That's mine.
I like as of about last year, Mallory and I tried our hand at like making our own hot chocolate with like whole milk and heavy cream and like bars of chocolate and stuff, which turned out really well. So we're gonna try and do that again this year. So that may be like a new tradition where we like make our own like stovetop hot chocolate kind of thing, because that was like we're more of a dark chocolate kind of family around here.
Sure.
So we got like 60% or 70% or something, and man, it was really nice. A little bit of sweetness from maybe a marshmallow or two in there was really nice with the kind of bitter chocolate, and I was like, this is kind of. I thought this was really nice. It's also a little bit thicker than like what your instant mix would be. Not opposed to the instant mix as long as you make it with milk. Yeah.
Now we know I like Scotch and bourbon.
Right.
I like the normals, but one of the things I really like around the holidays is Di-Serrano on the rocks.
Okay.
I really like that. I don't know why. It's just kind of been a tradition. I had a friend of mine who passed a couple of years ago from suicide, which I'm still very sad about.
Yikes.
But every New Year's, he would send me an Opus X cigar. It's about a $125 cigar, no matter where I was in the world. And New Year's, we were in two parts of the world. We would have our Di-Serrano on the rocks and smoke our cigar and talk on the phone and just wish each other love and happiness for the new year. And that was our little tradition. And around the holidays, I kind of keep that going. I love my Di-Serrano on the rocks. You don't have to add it, just
right, yeah, it is what it is.
Yep. You don't have
That's
to put
really
anything.
Cool.
Just say don't contaminate it with anything else.
Thank you. See, I like that.
Don't taint it with anything
Don't
else.
taint it.
Yes.
Have you had Di-Serrano yet?
I have not.
Okay.
It's a rum, right?
I used to get that as a
it's
gift.
liqueur.
Okay.
I used to get that as a gift a lot.
Did you
for
really?
people? Yeah.
Di-Serrano or cigars?
Di-Serrano.
Okay, really? Why?
Just
It's the original Amaretto.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, monks in what, 500 BC or,
oh, okay.
or whatever.
I'm thinking of Bacardi. I'm
No.
thinking,
People
yeah,
put it
Di-Serrano,
over
yeah.
everything.
It's amazing for anything.
I think I have Diamoro in the kitchen right now, which is a lesser known, I
Well,
think.
maybe that's what we ought to do
Have
for
it
one
too.
episode. We could break out the Di-Serrano
Oh man.
and not limit ourselves, and we could
Right.
pour a nice
would
nice
say-
snort and
One of my favorite drinks that I like to drink during the holiday season is it's called I don't know if this is the actual proper name for it, but it's always what I've called it. It's a B-52.
Oh,
I've
I think
heard of that.
yeah.
I've
And
heard of
it's
that.
a layered Bailey's, Kahlua, and Grand Marnier.
Oh yeah.
And you like to see that layer in the glass like that. Nice
Wow.
holiday drink. It's a nice sipping drink, especially when it's cold outside.
Yeah.
Warms you up on the inside a little bit.
Right.
So-
Last year,
So-
after Thanksgiving, at some point, we made the hot chocolate I was talking about. We decorated the house for the Christmas season, listening to music, classic Christmas music that I like listening to. And so that was like that was a new, like, fond memory that I had around this time last year that was like super cool. We're probably going to redo that.
Well, you remember Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving. That's when the Christmas stuff started coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now it's Halloween.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous now. Traditions are out the window, so you kind of have to make your own traditions.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy.
I mean,
But
I
it
used
sounds
to,
like we're a little too thankful for our adult beverages.
Yeah. Yeah. So you talk about Christmas stuff coming out. It's so funny because back in the day when I used to actually be crazy about Christmas lights, it was ritual for me that right after Thanksgiving, that's when I started. And I was like, I had thousands of Christmas lights.
Really?
Yes, I was kind of just...
Hey, to each their own. That's awesome.
There's a great picture running around the internet right now. You know the 12-foot skeletons for Halloween?
Yeah.
Somebody said, I repurposed my Halloween decoration, and they turned the skeleton the other way, and they put the Christmas lights in its hands and putting it on the roof like it was putting up the Christmas lights. It is it's awesome.
That's super cool.
Miranda says, I want that.
That's nice. Cool. That's nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool traditions I had whenever I was younger, and then ever since my grandparents had all passed, kind of, and then subsequently my family kind of split up in the divorce. There was like a dry period where like the holiday season was like really touchy because, again, obviously it was very emotional for all of us in varying different ways. And like I want to say after I moved back in like late 2019 or 2020 or so, I really wanted to make a concerted effort to like try and make new traditions. And ever since I got back, like I've been having a Friendsgiving. It's usually always the Saturday after Thanksgiving where I try and invite all my friends around and we all just have food together. And personally, I love Thanksgiving, not for all of the historical things that are tied with it normally. And I know there's a whole
accuracy issue,
troubling past with it. That's not what I'm here for. The big thing that I enjoy and I appreciate out of it is I like the fact that it is a chance for us to all get together and like intentionally be grateful for what we have. I know that we need to probably do that on a regular day-to-day basis anyways, but I think it's nice for all of us to have a day that we agree upon, like just be appreciative of what you have, because there's a large possibility that you may not have it.
There's a guy, I can't remember his name, but he said if you're feeling depressed and you're not feeling right, he says get out a piece of paper and literally write down everything that you're thankful for.
Right.
Everything, and make it your favorite toothpaste. Just everything that you can be thankful for in life, and when you realize how big that list gets, you feel better about yourself. And he says, and add to it all the time, because there's things that you don't remember that you're thankful for.
That we take, that's what I'm saying.
We take for granted.
You take for granted.
And
we forget about
and
it.
It's really
it becomes every day, and you just
the people in your life.
Mind.
The Native Americans used to have. You ever heard of a medicine bag? Native American medicine bag. Do you know that's actually not a medicine bag? Do you know what that was?
What's that?
When a warrior or medicine man or somebody was going through life and they hit a rough patch, they'll find something around that time, and it's appropriate to what they were going through, and they get through it, and they put this in their medicine bag, and then they're going through life and something else happens and they'll find something else, and they keep adding to this bag. And let's say I have my own medicine bag on me. And if I may use you, Jason, I'm just going to say, let's say you're going through a rough patch and you're not sure you're going to make it. So what I do is I sit down with you around the campfire and I pull out my medicine bag and I lay everything out and I tell you, this is what I was going through with this piece and I made it through it. This is what I was going through with this piece and I made it through. And I'm thankful for these things that I can remember them to you. And then what I do is when I collect those things back in the bag, I give you the bag and I say, I made it through it. You can too. And then you take that bag and you start adding stuff to it and you start, and you bring those feelings through to the next person.
It's nice. I never knew that.
And that's what it is. And so it's in a way of paying homage to being thankful that I made it through this. And look, I can do it. You can too.
That's cool.
And then it may have 4 or 5 different people's stuff and you tell the story. And this person that you're talking to hears all of these wonderful things, and then they go, you know what, maybe I can make it through this.
That's cool.
And then they continue the traditional.
I think that a lot can happen around a table full of food and people that all come together.
Oh, absolutely.
Like with the same mindset, like framework around.
Food is the ultimate universal language, right?
Right.
A lot of world problems have been solved
Right.
over a dinner table.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like I just feel like I already appreciate my friends and I love them and I love hosting for my friends anyways. And so to have an opportunity where we can all come together and be intentionally thankful for what we have and that we're all together and all able to hang out here and have a fun time together as friends is just, it is super warming to my heart to be like in a room with that kind of feeling moving about, and I love that. And so that's just one of those things that's like a regular like tradition that I've always done. But like I said a little while ago, coming back home, I wanted to make intentional like new routines and what's the word I'm thinking of?
New traditions?
New traditions with my family. Because we had that section of time where like just the holidays came and went and nothing ever fun happened. And I was like, I grew up loving the holidays and I don't want this to continue.
And it's interesting you say that because I know that Magnus is in a split family right now.
Right.
And I would kind of like to do the same for him. I don't want him to despise the holidays.
Right. It was always something that I looked forward to. It was always something that I had fun with. And it was always just these little things that I remember my mom, because my mom really did a whole lot to make the holidays extra special. Mm-hmm. And like I said, after she lost her mom and after everything else happened, it was just, I could tell that we also all grew up. So we were all in our, either my middle brother and I were in our 20s. And I think my youngest brother, Ethan, was probably 18 or so. So I mean, at that point, all her young children are all now functionally adults. And so as I came back, I was like, I want to make sure that like I make the holiday special for my mom specifically, because I know that she
did it for you for so long.
Exactly. Yeah. And then I was like, I want to be able to let her have that.
What a wonderful gift you give somebody.
Right.
That's kind of that's neat. One of the things though in our materialistic age,
right?
And I have an amazing friend, and he was telling me he has 2 kids. And they, in the materialistic age, Magnus is very materialistic. His kids they're kind of about the same age. And he said, they're not always appreciative and thankful of what they get. They just want stuff.
Yeah.
So I think he said last year, or the year before, they instituted something new in their home. And we're going to do this year in our house. And it's hopefully to help you be thankful of what it is. So you get 4 presents under the tree. Something you want, something you need, something to wear, and something to read. And I love that.
That's really interesting.
That's nice.
Isn't that neat?
Yeah.
And because you can overdo Christmas.
100%.
And they're never going to remember any of it.
It's too commercialized
Yes.
now. I've gotten to a point where I don't even want Christmas presents. I don't want gifts because it's just, we don't need it.
I've told people for years, don't buy me anything. You want to give me something for Christmas? Let's go to dinner and let's create a memory. Let's do something together that can't be taken away, can't
that's
rust,
going to end up
break,
in a garage sale.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Let's create a memory. That's what I would rather have. And this year, I'm thankful that with Miranda, I get to create new memories. I get to do new stuff and think about things and go through life with new stuff. And maybe, hopefully, and you're kind of inspiring me on this thing for family and with Magnus to create our own tradition. Yeah. Because once these families start splitting off and the kids get older and there's new,
it's usually when grandma and grandpa pass.
Yes.
That's usually when it starts.
That's the same situation with me.
Yeah.
But one thing I've realized also in life, and you both of you probably know this because you have more years than I do, is it is easy to not do thing. It is easy to not do something, but it is hard to be intentional and plan something and then follow through with it a lot of times, what I've noticed, especially when it comes to traditions and family and things like that. It is easy to get caught up in my job and caught up in my relationship with Mallory and other things that I feel like maybe more important to me in the right now. But then realistically, it's like, but I do really love my mom and I do want to continue having wonderful memories. Like this past this past Christmas was super great. We went to a candlelight service at our church, and we had a lovely, like the whole family came together. We all had this lovely moment. We we didn't have any food prepared, so we went out to a restaurant somewhere and tipped the waiter very well for helping us out on Christmas Eve. And we all came back to my home, and then we all opened presents later that night as a family. And that, for me, was super awesome. And my mom asked me afterwards if we can do that again next year.
Right.
That's right.
And I was like, oh, that's just, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And so now this year, that's kind of hopefully what we're going to do is go to a candlelight service at a church, have a nice family get together, and then have that moment while we're all singing Silent Night. And then, of course, probably go get food somewhere or something, or cook something maybe this
Sure.
year.
Do you,
So.
is this, you say this is Christmas Eve? You do
Yeah,
this?
we did it Christmas Eve
Yeah.
last year. A lot of times, a lot of the candlelight services are on a Christmas Eve. So that's kind of what we...
Yeah, see, I do a
Right.
midnight.
Yeah,
I go to midnight mass in my faith tradition. So
Okay, cool. That's awesome.
So just got to stay up late because the service is about an hour and a half.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
It starts
Yeah.
at midnight?
Yes, starts at midnight.
I never heard that before. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yep, midnight mass.
Well, you should be thankful you only do that once a year. Then.
Actually, there is a service longer than that at the Easter Vigil. That's almost 3 hours.
Well, I mean, it's Easter, though. You got to
That's
get,
right.
Easter and Christmas, those are the two big ones.
Mhm.
You know. So yeah, we do all our Christmas stuff. It's on Christmas Eve.
That's awesome.
Christmas Day is more of a time just to kind of
Right.
relax, lay around the couch and
Yeah.
talk and whatever's on TV we watch. If there's any football games or anything like that.
Yeah.
But primarily just a gathering time for family.
That's super cool.
And I'm really thankful for the opportunities that God has given me in my life.
Yeah.
And especially the last year. This podcast is going on for a year and a half now.
Yeah, you're
And
right. Oh,
we're
man.
going strong. We're growing. We have new friends. We're making new
Yes.
friends every week on the outside. And it's really neat. And I appreciate, I thank both of y'all for doing this. I thank Miranda for inspiring me and kind of
Right.
being my muse a
Right.
lot, because I'm not an artist, unless it's food or this.
Right.
And
Right.
I've always been very destructive, and I'm very good at destroying things. That was my business for a few years. And it's just, I'm thankful that in, my twilight, that I get to do this. And I get to do this with you, Ian, and
Yes.
now you, Jason, and I miss X-Man.
I know, me too.
But I think we have a nice fit here, and I think he'll be proud of us for carrying on the tradition that we
Yes.
are. And I'm thankful for that.
Same.
I am too.
What a wonderful episode this was.
Yes. Yes. So
There's a lot to be thankful for.
if we
Right.
can help anybody out there, please just remember, even the little things, give those things thanks. Thanks if you believe in a higher power, however that is. Just be thankful for the things in your life, because when you lose sight of that, it's very easy to get overwhelmed with the negative.
Yeah.
But if you can concentrate on the positive and the things that you do have, like Jason said, I got a roof, I've got a job, I've got things in my life. How amazing is that? Because there's a lot of people who do not have what we have here. And as tough as things are in this country, I'm still glad I'm here. I'm thankful that I'm in America, because there's other countries where we don't have the rights and the things that we have
People don't
today.
have nothing.
They don't have anything, and they're thankful for the little things that they get. So be thankful for everything that you have, and pay homage to that, and appreciate those little things.
And if I can leave this episode as well with another a little tidbit of knowledge that I've learned, is stop glorifying how busy you think you are. Be real with yourself and be honest. You know that you can make time for the things that you really, really care about.
That's right.
And if you don't really care about the people or the things in your life that you claim you're busy for, that's fine. But just don't lie to yourself about it.
Oh,
If you're really busy.
We always have time for what we want
What
to
we
make
want
time
to say.
for.
Is that
I mean,
there's a lot of times where I in the industry that I'm in, glorifying that you're busy, like, oh, I'm so busy, there's so many things. But sometimes you can believe that lie a little too much, and I recently realized that again of like, I feel like I'm busy, but also at the same time, like there are things that I can make time for, that I need to make time for.
Okay.
Just a little tidbit. If we're talking about,
love it.
if we're talking about the holiday season and being,
How about you,
present.
Jason? You got something you'd like to leave our listeners with?
Just
just be a good person.
just be a good person. Be thankful for all the things you have.
Right.
We're blessed.
Yes.
We're blessed.
In a world where we're raised to believe we can be anything, how about just be kind?
Yeah, be kind, and just all that good stuff, and we're
Right.
gonna be okay. We really
Well,
are.
if there's anything you guys want to reach out to us about and tell us that you're thankful for, or you want to give us any suggestions, you can reach out to us on facebook.com/retrospectpod, or you can reach out to, or you can see all of our other links at linktree/retrospectpod as well, and you can find all the ways you can listen to us and all the ways you can get involved. But anyways, until next time, have a happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone, and God bless.
Peace.